Welcome, welcome everyone to the Chris Parrish Podcast, episode 114. And the winner is, that's right, we just witnessed the Royal Rumble last night, and we saw, for the first time ever, the Royal Rumble on international waters. Outside of North America, live from Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, and everybody wants to talk about, the empty seats. Well, how about we just talk about what the show delivered, because I actually very much enjoyed the show. Let me know in the comments below what your major takeaways from the Royal Rumble were. I think some things that I enjoyed was flat out winning Natalia's book. That's right, over at the Pine on White, which is Beercade's partner when the international PLEs are happening. They do a little bit of a game where you get to pick your numbers, and I picked women's 14, which was Liv Morgan, who won the Women's Royal Rumble, and because of that, I won Natalia's book. As I know we got Chris Best coming down from the Turnbuckle Studios saying howdy, because that is your verbiage. How are you doing? We also saw AJ Styles lose to Gunther, which means he must retire from the WWE. Speculations arise. So we have Star 3 Fan Gaming also coming on the YouTube side saying hello. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you are hitting that notification bell button and you're hitting that like button. That thumbs up, all that stuff goes a long way to help the channel. But I appreciate you not only being here, but also supporting the show. So we saw Liv Morgan, Roman Reigns, Gunther, and Drew McIntyre win their matches. But what was the big takeaway? Was it AJ Styles losing and the realization that the Phenomenal One's career is over? Or was it after, where he was about to put his gloves on the ring and decided to put them back on his hands? What does that mean? Will we see something coming out of it? I don't know. It's why we got to watch Monday Night Raw tomorrow. It's why we got to watch the programming to see if there's anything there. I know we can all admit that we would love to see more from AJ Styles, but we do know that after Saturday night's main event, the story appeared to go down where Nakamura and Styles had a conversation. Nakamura put out a post confirming that Royal Rumble was going to be it for AJ Styles. He took that post down, but it does look to be true. AJ Styles seems to have retired from professional wrestling, or at least WWE. We also saw Sami Zayn return to Saudi Arabia, and we know that there was a push, a late push, on the the narrative of Drew McIntyre was 11-0 against Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn never lost in Saudi Arabia. Sami Zayn also never has won a world championship in WWE. Now all those things came to be. Drew McIntyre is now 12-0 against Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn still hasn't won a world championship, and he is no longer undefeated in Saudi Arabia. Now, I'm not upset that Drew retained that title. In fact, I kind of want to see Drew McIntyre not only go into WrestleMania as champion, but I would be okay even if he left WrestleMania as champion. I don't think Roman Reigns is picking Drew McIntyre. Anybody else agree, or do you disagree? Do you think Roman Reigns will go after Drew McIntyre and choose the one title that he made infamous with his 1,300-day reign. Let's talk about Roman Reigns winning his second Royal Rumble. I believe the first one that he won was in 2015. Now, he didn't have The Rock coming down and helping him out this time, but what he did do was stay very true to his decision. As we have Chris Best and Star 3 Fan Game coming in saying he's going to pick Punk. CM Punk seems to be the obvious one. And who's to say if whether or not guys like Drew McIntyre and CM Punk are championed by WrestleMania? There is no level to doubt that they won't, but anything can happen. We still have the Elimination Chamber come February 28th, I believe, live from Chicago. So you know CM Punk's going to be there. Could that be where we see Roman Reigns making that selection? That's also another question that needs to be asked. How quickly do we want to see Roman Reigns and Liv Morgan now make this decision? Or do we want to see a little bit of a waiting period? I'm okay if we wait a little bit. I don't think there needs to be a rush on any of this. But what I am curious about is we know Raquel Rodriguez is going up against Stephanie McMahon in the Philadelphia Street Fight tomorrow on Raw, which, by the way, is the first American date for WWE in 2026. And we're already in February. Chris Best is coming and saying, I want to see a build to the chance. Peppermint Queen is coming in saying there should be no rush at all. So my question is, we know that Liv Morgan eliminated Raquel Rodriguez just moments after Raquel eliminated Rhea Ripley, and probably was one of the most shocking sequences in that match. I don't think a lot of people expected to see Liv Morgan eliminate Raquel. But I think we could have saw Raquel and Rhea have a moment in that Rumble. But the question is, are we going to see fallout from that event? Because is Raquel pissed? Yes, she has a chance against Stephanie McMahon tomorrow for the women's world title, but maybe she had plans on becoming a double champion at WrestleMania. Maybe she wanted Raquel Mania. Can't blame her. Wrestlers are selfish. We all know this. We want it all, okay? So it'll be very intriguing, especially if Raquel is going after one championship. Liv may or may not go after the same one. I know there's been teases about Stephanie and Liv Morgan, and I'm very sure that's the match we're going to get at WrestleMania. But at what cost? That's kind of where I'm at. Do we see Raquel ask the Judgment Day? As we have Fight Bass coming in saying, hi, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. We are talking Royal Rumble. My name is Chris Parrish. This is the Chris Parrish Podcast, episode 114, and the winner is reviewing a little Royal Rumble. We have a nice little fun, active chat there, so please have some fun debating what your thoughts were about the Royal Rumble last night. As right now, we're talking a little Liv Morgan. Just on how the fallout from the Rumble is after she eliminates her stablemate, her friend in Raquel Rodriguez. What is Roxanne Perez's role going to look like? Because if we have Liv and Raquel both going after singles championships, where does Roxanne go from here? Is she going to tackle an Intercontinental Championship, or does she get caught in the middle between Raquel and Liv? No fight. They're all under the same banner now. WWE, UFC, all under the same banner, the TKO group. If you have any UFC questions, let me know. I do watch occasional UFC as well. In fact, I had a childhood friend wrestle or fight for the UFC in Sheldon Westcott. Shout out to Sheldon Westcott. Chris Best coming in saying, I think there will be a few fallouts. We saw a couple of tag team partners accidentally eliminate each other. Liv, of course, and purposely eliminated Raquel. Well, I mean, I think this is a great way of saying the Royal Rumble is every person for themselves. We all know this. How often do we see this really being used? Well, we didn't see it at the beginning when Charlotte and Alexa Bliss started 1-2. They teased a little bit of attempts to eliminate one another, but eventually they waited for number 3. I got Islam winning that fight. So I think that is the big question here. Whether or not we will see the fallout. Whether or not the Judgment Day is on the brink of explosion, or do we see returns from JD McDonough, Dominic Mysterio, just to kind of help bring back the zen to the group, I guess. A match I want to see at WrestleMania. I mean, I would love to see Gunther and Brock Lesnar. The one thing about the men's match I wish I would have saw a little bit more of was Brock Lesnar going and giving us a little bit more moments with some of the larger guys, like the Obafemis, the Ilya Dragunovs, the Gunthers. Powerhouse Hobbs, a.k.a. Royce Keys, making his WWE debut. What did we think about the way they introduced him? Peppermint Queen saying apparently Brock's exit was botched. Who knows? Chris Best comment saying, but I could see Asuka being upset with Kairi after her elimination. And that's another point too. Kabuki Warriors also in shambles after Kairi Sane accidentally eliminates her partner, her mentor. Coming in saying, in Royal Rumble, your favorite match was... I'm always a sucker for the Rumble matches themselves. Those are always the fun ones. There's more unknown on those. I think we all could have admitted that Drew was not going to lose that championship. And honestly, as much of the drama that was building with AJ and Gunther, I think we all knew Gunther was more or less going to win, even though we didn't want him to. Because selfishly, as fans, we don't want to see people retire. We want them to keep going. We think these stars and these people are invincible and they can go on forever. But I did like what we saw in the Rumble matches. I thought the women's match had a really great flip to it. I enjoyed what we saw coming out of that Rumble. We saw Lyra and Bayley look like they have a potential tag match with the Bella Twins as Brie Bella came back. We have the fallout from the Judgment Day. Are they going to be upset with each other? Is Liv and Asuka going to be upset with one another? are we going to see a bunch of seeds planted for WrestleMania, as now the official road to WrestleMania has begun? And then you go over to the men's, and yes, we had some entries, which, you know, they were long shots to win. Like, there's no way La Parka was going to win. We weren't going to see Mr. Iguana win. But what we did see was the debut of Royce Keys, as Chris Best is coming in saying, I liked Royce Keys' run. I'm super curious to see whether he's a main event guy or if he goes to NXT. In fact, Baz is coming in saying, I like Roman. Hey, Roman was or is your 2026 Royal Rumble winner. I wouldn't have. I also kind of wanted to see some Ilya and Roman. I thought that would have been fun to see in that match as well. I did feel the men's match had a slower build to it, and it kind of got me a little bit more. It took me a little bit longer to get into it because it just didn't. It just seemed a little slower paced, which is fine. But if you're gonna have the slower pace, I want to see these eliminations and these entrants kind of spread out a little bit more. I did feel at times when I was watching these Rumble matches that the entrants were way too quick at times. Well, we are talking apples and oranges with UFC and WWE. But here's a fact: Brock Lesnar was a WWE wrestler, and he won the UFC Heavyweight Championship in 4 fights. But we're talking apples and oranges if we're trying to compare the two. They are not the same. It'd be like asking if we think Tom Brady would be in the Hall of Fame if he played in the NHL. So I think, all in all, I mean, the men's match gave us a lot too. Like, who is the masked man that attacked Braun Breaker? As we saw Braun Breaker and Obafemi start the Royal Rumble. Braun Breaker got attacked by a masked man, the same masked man that the Vision used to get the advantage going into War Games. That ended up being Austin Theory. So as we kind of pause for a bit just to think about who that masked man was, let me remind you that over on Turnbuckle Studios, we have a beautiful website called turnbucklestudios.org, and you could go there and do a lot of things. You can go and find out who's a part of the affiliation. If you want to click their bio, it takes you straight to their socials, their link trees. You can also go to our join function, as you can see if you want to become a part of the TAP, the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. And if you want to tap in and join, go right there, as we are looking for more hands on deck. And that's not just in front of the camera, it's behind the camera. So if you have any qualifications and you want to become a part of us, go to turnbucklestudios.org/join. But if you want to go to our shop, turnbucklestudios.org/shop is a lot easier to type in than what we used to have. You can go and select your favorite member of the TAP, and you can go and search their page and see if there's any merchandise you would like. And that ranges from hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts, phone covers, all of this great stuff. For more information, go to turnbucklestudios.org/shop. But if you want a little video reminder of all these, here are a couple videos you can see.
A Turnbuckle Affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at turnbucklestudios.org.
Fight Baz coming in saying the Masked Man is someone from Roman's family. I guess. I mean, that very well could be it. There have been rumored talks that WWE is in negotiations with New Japan star Evil. Do we see something like that coming in? As we kind of talk about the fallout from the Royal Rumble match, we could talk about the internal stuff that we saw in the match, whether it's Obafemi's amazing debut. Question was, is he going to be a regular on Raw and SmackDown? Yeah, it looks like Obafemi will be a member of Raw moving forward. That seems to be that seems to be what appears to be what's going to go on. Do I know WXM? No, I don't. I can't say I do. And if I do, I don't know it by just WXM. You might have to explain more to me about that. But the question was asked, do I see Royce Keys, or do we think Royce Keys will be a mainstay on the main roster or go to NXT? I do think if you're going to get that treatment at... okay. Yeah, no, I definitely don't watch a lot of wrestling outside of WWE now. There's just too much. I do think Royce Keys will be a member of the main roster. I don't think you go all the way to Saudi Arabia and debut someone, give him a stage where you're taking the time to explain who he was from another promotion and what he's going to be moving forward. The presentation was very, very large. And then you eliminate Damian Priest right out of the gate. Royce Keys had a very impressive debut with the WWE, and I don't think they're going to just say, okay, now you go to NXT. I think that's exactly what you could do moving forward with Royce Keys and Damian Priest, to be exact. Well, fine, I might just have to check that out, as I will have some spare time in my life moving forward for a bit. So it'll be very intriguing to see kind of the next step for Royce Keys. And if they put Royce Keys on SmackDown, you could put Obafemi on Raw, and now you got two, excuse the pun, but powerhouses that now you can have fun with. So it'll be quite intriguing to see kind of if Obafemi is on Raw, does the Vision try to recruit him? And you definitely have to wonder what Raw is going to look like when Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker, who have very different emotions coming out of the Royal Rumble. Obviously, Braun Breaker not happy that he was number 2 in that Rumble match. Basically started the match off, got attacked, and then was basically thrown out within seconds by Obafemi. So somebody is going to get beat up by Braun Breaker and the Vision. I can only expect it. The question is, do we see more of this masked man in Philadelphia as Raw goes there tomorrow? We know Liv Liv will have her eyes glued on the Raquel Rodriguez Stephanie Vaquer title match. That's for sure. Now I'm going to put this out there because I was asked this question yesterday while watching the show. Well, Baz, thank you for joining, and I appreciate you coming on. And hopefully, we will see you in the future on future episodes. So, thank you again. Have a great day. But the question I was asked is, are there people that I didn't see in the Rumble matches that I was hoping for? I mean, the obvious ones would maybe somebody from TNA, maybe somebody from NXT, like say Santana or Joe Hendry, or somebody who maybe didn't return, like a Chris Jericho. I mean, we did not get to see Chad Gable in the Royal Rumble. That would have been very cool, but we did get to see the original El Grande Americano face off with the current Grande Americano. We got that Spider-Man meme. We got all that fun. What if we see two? And yesterday we did. I was thoroughly enjoyed with seeing that. And if by chance the rumors are true that Chad Gable did play the original version of El Grande Americano, and that was him in outfit yesterday, well, then just the overall presentation of Chad Gable, aka could be the original Americano. He looks to be in damn good shape. But I definitely do believe we are setting ourselves up for Americanos versus Gable and the Creeds very soon. I do think something's going to come to be here. It wouldn't actually surprise me if we see the Creeds pretend to don the Americano gimmick as well. I mean, how insane would that be? But I mean, at the end of the day, was I upset that we didn't get more surprises? No, because when you kind of look at WWE on the roster, they have such a large amount of talent on both the women and the men's side that this is the time where you just use what you have and you try to help make those individuals stars. How can you make new stars if they're not provided an opportunity? So as much as, there wasn't much for Lola Vice in the Royal Rumble, it was good to see Lola Vice in the Royal Rumble. As much as maybe I didn't care for the Zelina Vega entrant, not saying she's new by any means, but it's always good to see Zelina Vega on screen because you do know that eventually when Aleister Black comes back, I want to see more of those two. So I'm not against what we saw because obviously there were people I could say that I didn't expect to win, but I was still happy they got an opportunity there. Chris Best coming in saying Sol Ruca had a star-making performance going over 50 minutes in the match. I'm going to say this. As much as Sol Ruca did look like $1 million in that match, as the final three in the women were Liv, Sol Ruca, and Tiffany Stratton, as for the first time in my memory, we saw kind of all three women on the apron, teasing elimination. Normally, we would see this with two people, as recent as last year with John Cena and Jey Uso. We've seen it with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Weirdly enough, both Rumbles I've went to, I've seen it. But this time it was three individuals. It was Tiffany Stratton, who did make her return to WWE with the number 30 spot in the Rumble, Sol Ruca, as well as Liv Morgan. And when Sol Ruca tried to go for a soul snatcher on Liv, it was Tiffany Stratton who just took the opportunity to throw her legs down. They say they're high risk, and that was a high risk because that decision did cost Sol Ruca her chance of going to WrestleMania. We did see Liv Morgan then hit that Oblivion, and she hit it from the outside of the apron, which would then send Tiffany Stratton out. And yes, I will agree they need to stop with the ending the match on the apron, but I did think that was a very creative way to finish the match. And for the first time, I watched both the women's and the men's match, and I could honestly say I'm very happy that they felt like their own matches. There wasn't a lot of similarities. And for that, I applaud WWE for finally making these Rumble matches a little bit more original. Because in the past, I've said I do look at these matches and they're having the same thing, whether it's somebody coming out early and lasting all the way to the end, or you had the same number winner, or you kind of had similar type spots in this match. The one thing I did like in the women's match was that we did see both Julia and Becky Lynch, who represent the Intercontinental and United States Championship. And as much as they had a presence in the match, it was more to help develop where they're going to next. And it didn't seem like Becky Lynch was a favorite in the match at any point, but it did give her an opportunity to say, okay, you're going to do something with Natty and you're going to do something with Maxine. Obviously, that is still a fresh thing at the time. But then now we know that most likely Natty is going to go after that Intercontinental Championship. And we saw a little bit of teases with Julia with other tag teams. I think the spot with Io, Julia, and Asuka, I believe it was absolutely fantastic. I do believe that was the most amount of Japanese women in a Royal Rumble match. And that was absolutely fantastic to see. The only thing I did not like was the fact that at one point, Charlotte and Becky Lynch did go to the outside and go back in. I'm just not a fan of people rolling to the outside in any way. Now, it wasn't for very long, but I just feel it just takes the attention away from the Rumble match. Especially if you're watching it on TV, you clearly want to see what they're doing. And then as the fans go, you can watch people try to move away or try to escape an elimination, or you can watch the fight that's happening outside. So I just don't know if it really adds to the match, especially when there's people already in the ring. So I could have done without that, but that is just me being very specifically critical on something, but it's not the end of the world. Like I said, they were out there for maybe 7 seconds, if that. I did like the fact that the women's match gave you a completely more open-ended idea of who's going to win. It got a little bit more obvious, I thought, near the end, but I thought for the most part, everyone looked pretty strong. Lash Legend, I thought, looked like $1,000,000 in that match. The one person I was very surprised with how quick the elimination came to be was actually Jordynne Grace, if I'm being quite honest. I kind of expected a little bit more there. Especially with like when we saw Jordynne Grace with Ivy Nile, it is very clear cut that those two very much enjoy working with each other. But I kind of would like to see Jordynne Grace become a little bit more of, I guess for the better point, just a powerhouse in there. Like give me Raquel and Jordynne Grace a little bit. Give me Rhea and Jordan. Like I want to see some of the heavy hitters mix it up with Jordynne Grace, just though I can have that perception with Jordynne Grace to be a little bit more than just, yeah, she can work with everyone, and then if she's not going to win, she's out pretty quick. I really would like to see maybe next year, if she is not a champion by the time Royal Rumble comes next year, I'd like to see her either Final 2, Final 3, Final 4. I guess, too, the one thing that they did repeat in this women's match is that they had somebody else from NXT come down and have that long-lasting Iron Woman presence. Obviously, last year was Roxanne Perez. This year was Sol Ruca. Now, I will say it's a great way of introducing these talents because Sol Ruca is probably going to be a main roster acquisition at some point in 2026. The only question is, in what capacity? I did notice that she did eliminate Jacy Jayne out of the Rumble, as Jacy Jayne is the NXT Women's Champion. So I am looking into that, and I'm going to predict that Sol Ruca is going to win the NXT Women's Championship at Stand and Deliver. I was actually quite intrigued that we didn't see a couple men from NXT in there to kind of showcase some of that of like a Ricky Saints. I thought would have been a shoe-in. Maybe we would have got a Ricky Saints Cody Rhodes moment. I thought that could have been something. A Tony D'Angelo participation would have been fun. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Tony D'Angelo and Rusev kind of just have a moment in the ring? That would be intriguing. I mean, just think about, like, they're not doing much with Rusev right now. So like, imagine if Tony D'Angelo eliminates Rusev, and then NXT on Tuesday. I know they have the big ladder match to crown a new NXT champion. But what if at some point in that show, we see Rusev attack Tony D'Angelo and we get maybe that for a feud in NXT? I'd be totally down for it. Now, I do think this is the great time to let everybody know what you can see every day on the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. The one thing you can see on turnbucklestudios.org is the amazing content. That's right. You can see all the weekly episodic shows from everyone involved. Now, what are those shows, you ask? Well, let me just show you with our calendar video.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we go TNA as we brace for Impact at 9 p.m. On Fridays, join us for the SmackDown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. And later that night, we have the Borsnest at 8 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day. And please visit turnbucklestudios.org.
And there you have it, the weekly lineup of Turnbuckle Studios and Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. So you can check out all of those shows. And the one that you don't see is the one that you were able to catch just last night, because it's not a weekly show, but it is a part of our calendar, and that is the PLE Patrol. Every time a WWE PLE comes to you, or even a Saturday night's main event, you can check out the PLE Patrol at that time. And normally when that does happen on a Saturday night, the program change of Saturday Night Gaming usually will become more of an afternoon show. I can let everybody know that there are being discussions to maybe hammer home the live form of a international show in the afternoon, opposed to doing it at night. But let us know if you actually like us keeping it at that time, or would you rather to see the live reaction? We are working on that, and that is why, and that is another reason why it is very important for you to answer the bell on turnbucklestudios.org/join, because sometimes it's that voice of reason that is needed. Also, I will let everybody know that even though last night did check out the Royal Rumble live on the Pine on White, normally I do catch my WWE PLEs and some AEW pay-per-views live on Beercade. Okay, at 10544 82nd Ave. Beercade White is the proud sponsor of the Chris Parrish podcast. And if memory serves me, February 28th at Elimination Chamber most likely will be the next time you can check out Chris Parrish at Beercade for a WWE event. I will also say every Royal Rumble coming, they do have a fun game where you get to pick your numbers. And those numbers allow you an opportunity to cheer for whoever comes out during the Royal Rumble, because you just might win a prize. I did mention that I did receive Natty Neidhart's book, The Last Heart Beating, and I am pretty excited to check that one out. So that's why going to Beercade, YEG, Beercade on White, is the place to go, and that is exactly why it just made a great fit to become partners for the Chris Parrish podcast. If you also want to help support the channel, all my socials are down below on my link tree at Chris Parrish. You can check out Chris Parrish podcast live on Kick, live on Twitch, live on X, Facebook, YouTube, and sometimes Instagram. Starting next week, we will be cutting the amount of platforms the Chris Parrish podcast is on. So be alert to my socials, as I will let you know what those will be. I also want to give a shout out to newly acquired Tommaso Ciampa, who did become the TNT champion, as he defeated Mr. Briscoe for that championship. So congratulations, Tommaso Ciampa, on already becoming a champion in AEW. Now, we just witnessed the Royal Rumble yesterday, which means in less than 4 weeks, we will see the Elimination Chamber, and that will completely size up our road to WrestleMania. Our title pictures will become a little bit more clear, but we did ask you the question, who would you like to see Punk and Drew? Like one of them, do you want to see one of them go up against Roman Reigns? Do we want to see Stephanie Fakir go up against Liv Morgan, or do we want to see Jade Cargill go up against Liv Morgan? Big question is now, though, who the Rumble winners will choose. So we could look at Liv Morgan and Roman Reigns as being the winners here. We do know that the title of the show and the winner is, but the winner might not just be the Royal Rumble winner. The winner could be the championship itself. Are the World Heavyweight Championship or the World Championship the winner here? Or are we going to see the WWE Women's Championship and the WWE Universal Championship be selected to be profiled at WrestleMania? Now, I'm also going to say this. I'm at the point now where I want to see one night of WrestleMania headlined by a male Royal Rumble winner and their match, and then the other night with the other Royal Rumble winner. I want to see, if you win the Royal Rumble, yes, you get a selection of which championship you get to fight for at WrestleMania, but I want to see that main event kicker back in. We can all admit that Roman Reigns versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight title most likely will headline night 2 of WrestleMania. But if, say, Liv Morgan decides to face Stephanie McGuire, that better headline night 1. I do think Liv Morgan is one of the top stars on the women's brand right now. And you could argue that her involvement in the Judgment Day is one of the big reasons to why that group has the longevity that it's had. Right now, the Judgment Day is being held up by the trio of the women, with Finn Balor kind of being the only male in the group, and then kind of going after CM Punk. He didn't get a chance to compete in the Royal Rumble. So we do have to see kind of what his motives are tomorrow as CM Punk looks to get revenge on the man who attacked him just last week. And now, knowing the fate of AJ Styles, wrecked what could have been a magical moment of AJ Styles versus CM Punk for the world title. We have no idea now what could have been in that match. And we'll never know, as that was the only time CM Punk and AJ Styles got to face off one-on-one in a WWE ring, and Finn Balor took it away, not only from them, but from all of us. So the question is Finn Balor, is he more going on his own dime, or will he be more linked into the Judgment Day moving forward? We will see. Because as we all know, Judgment Day just doesn't seem complete without JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. But you can only imagine that they are just closing in on a return to WWE. Now, we've dissected the Royal Rumble pretty damn well. And just like February 1, we're moving on. The Royal Rumble is now a thing in the past, so we must look forward. Whether it's Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, or the Elimination Chamber, we are moving along on this road to WrestleMania. So why don't we move forward on the Chris Parrish podcast? That's right. We're talking 114 right now, but next week, make sure you're catching episode 115, Roadblock, as we look forward to what is next on this road to WrestleMania. Whose road will be blocked? Where can we see everyone go? Because as much as we want to say this person should be in the world title picture, only a select few actually get to be in the title picture come WrestleMania time. So we're going to have some fun on predicting a little bit about how WrestleMania season will shape out. From here on out, I'm going to let you guys know that I do appreciate all the good words that has been sent my way in this past week. And I want to appreciate everybody who is sending the best. So for that, I will always provide you the best. I am still looking at improving the Chris Parrish podcast, whether it's through a visual way or even from a financial way, or even just a content way. I am looking to get more interviews done this year as well, so look forward to that as well. If you have any comments or concerns, please send me an email or messages on any of my platforms. If you have any critiques, suggestions, or anything like that, I am open to hearing them. But until then, this has been episode 114 of the Chris Parrish podcast, and the winner is, and I will say flat out, with all the support, I feel like I am a winner because of who are supporting me. So until next week, I say thank you for being you. I say thank you for making me feel happy. And I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, because in my world, you always matter. Have a good day, everyone.
Rip through the clouds, faster, catch us from falling close to the ground. Perish or